So I've opened up the result right here side by side with Vectorizer AI, and as you can see, there's not too much of a difference between the two, except that, yes, here we actually have gradients. There is a vectorizer that you can use for free, and it's so good that it can even do gradients. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to access it and how to use it for your print-on-demand designs. So the tool that we're going to be using for this is called Recraft. And thanks to everyone who's recommended this to me in the comments. I've started to test it out, and I'm going to go, further into it and potentially make more videos about it. In this video, we're going to focus on the vectorizer part of it. You can create an account here for free and test out a lot of the pro features without having to pay straight away. So if you click on Get Racecraft Free, it should bring you to a quick questionnaire like this. So I'll just quickly do the setup with you. Essentially, you just want to select you're using it for work, click Next, then what kind of work do you do? I just put graphic artist, and for the next step, in this case, I guess you could choose image vectorization, or you could also do vector art generation. That's part of what Racecraft does and is actually pretty good at for print on demand, but I've got to do more testing for a fully fleshed out video there. But let's click on just image vectorization right here and hit next. Have you ever used AI before? That, depends on you. What you want to select here, then next again, where did you hear about it? YouTube in my case, and yes, let's recraft. So you get the choice of different plans here. We're just going to select the free one where you get 50 free daily credits right here, and no parallel execution, which is probably like bulk generating images. And then we'll just hit select plan, and you get met with this kind of intro screen where it explains a bunch of their features. And this works a lot like, like an Illustrator canvas where you can hit control and then scroll and it zooms in. You can also hold space and it makes this hand symbol. You can click and drag around, and yeah, this is pretty neat. So you can get a quick overview right here of how the different features work. You've got most of the tools and features right here in the top left corner. Now, if you want to just vectorize something, what you can do is you can ignore all of this. You can just scroll to the side, and then you want to click on import image right here. So I've imported this design right here from Mystic POD, and as you can see, it has some gradients right here in the letters running from sort of yellowy orange all the way to a red, and we've got the same for the blue right here. So we're going to see a good example of the whole gradient aspect of this vectorizer as well. But once you've imported the image, what you need to do next is essentially click on it and then head up here to this symbol and then click vectorize. It's going to process this for a few seconds, and there we go. The job is done. And if we zoom in, yes, these gradients are still intact, which is crazy because I've not really seen that before. Vectorize AI is really good at vectorizing, but it does ruin the gradients. And not just that, but this tool also gives you the ability on the left to very easily change the number of colors that your design holds. So you can turn down the slider, and if I turn it down all the way, you can see it has like, 1-2 colors. It looks weird, but we don't need the full 260 color spectrum. We can oftentimes drag this down to, let's say, 24, and it still has the gradients right here and still looks really good. And this is a lot better or easier than the vectorizer function, where you can change the amount of colors, but it's tough to kind of see with a live preview what you're actually changing. It's a bit tougher to get kind of or find the sweet spot where you still have enough colors to keep the original design intact, but you don't have a lot of unnecessary additional colors that you don't need. So I think for this design, it's probably around the 30 to 25 mark, somewhere around there is where I would stop it. Once you're done with selecting your colors, you can head to export and then here save it as an SVG. I'm going to wait for this to download. So I've opened up the result right here side by side with Vectorizer AI, and as you can see, there's not too much of a difference between the two, except that, yes, here we actually have gradients. If I click on this letter, you've got the gradient symbol right here coming up in Illustrator. So if I'm going to open it up from my side panel, I could now choose the orange and, make it a different color, and it actually adjusts the gradient quite effectively. That is so cool. Same goes for this blue right here. As you can see, it's got the gradient. I can change this slider right here to adjust the whole alignment of it. It's amazing compared to the vectorizer result where everything has been broken up into individual pieces. So considering you can access this for free right here, the Recraft one, that is absolutely fantastic. And the result isn't necessarily worse, or if so, not much worse. Like I think this flower, for example, looks a bit better the way Vectorizer's done it. If we come over to this side, it's not quite the same. Maybe it's just the amount of colors I selected right here was a little bit too low. Maybe some of the leaves look a little bit better on Vectorizer, but it's minute details. And from my tests, I haven't really seen much of a difference in the results besides the obvious thing, which is the gradients right here. So that's definitely pretty cool. What are the limitations with Recraft though, with the free plan? So essentially, if we get back to this, you do get 50 credits a day, which is pretty decent. However, I think you're limited to uploading or importing 3 images per day, which is a bit of a shame because that means you can't vectorize more than 3 images per day because you always need to import them. However, it's still free, so it's better than what Vectorizer AI offers at this point. You can still use the remaining credits for other things right here within Recraft. Without going into too much detail, let me just quickly import some more images and kind of show you some other options that you have. You can always kind of lay these things out next to each other. It's quite a good sort of quick workflow, to be honest. If you know how to use, Adobe products or Canva, Affinity, stuff like that, you'll be quite used to this. So now that we have these new files right here, you can also do stuff like remove the background. This scissor symbol right here, I can click on that and it will use probably 1 more credit. I don't know how many yet, just 1 credit to remove the background. It's not done a perfect job right here. It's left a little bit of a white edge around some of those stars, but it's not bad, right? And now you could once again go ahead and vectorize this file. Now, what about this right here? Let's try the background removal again. And then we can also do things like erase unwanted elements. So if you didn't want these lines right here on the side, you just click on the erase, draw over it, and then it should take that away. There we go. You can also do a clarity upscale. So if you don't want to vectorize, if that's not your style, or you don't have vector editing software, then use the upscaling function instead. So even though you're limited to just importing 3 files, you can still do a lot more with those. And the credits are going down 1 at a time right here. By the way, this has now been turned into a vector. I've got 13 colors right here. Again, you can slide this down. That actually looks quite cool as well. So sometimes, even though the top or the first result might only have a small amount of colors, just tuning it down might give you a nice version where we've only got 3 colors, which is, also a neat looking design. And another thing is this is also an AI image generator. So what you can do is, let's kind of take this to the side right here. We can click on image and then you can generate something. So we'll just use this default prompt, olive green, isometric, cozy, cube, messy room. We'll hit Recraft. It's going to generate something. I'm probably going to make a separate video with some print on demand prompt about this and all the different settings, because you've got a lot of models right here. There's a lot to go into and I've not had enough time yet to explore this properly. I want to give this, or want to do this software justice, because it seems quite good and well laid out. But as you can see, that's been an image generated very quickly right here. We've got 2 versions as well, and we've still got 42 credits left after quite a bunch of jobs. So yes, if I try and upload another image now, it is going to ask me to upgrade. That's a bit unfortunate because it means that you can't vectorize more than 3 files a day for free. But nevertheless, at least those free Vectorizer jobs are of really, really good quality. They're really smooth, great lines. This might look a little weird, but in the final result, you don't really see that. And obviously you have the gradient function, which is extremely, extremely powerful for a free Vectorizer. If you want to learn about a tool that is extremely good at removing backgrounds, way better than ClipDrop has ever been, then make sure to check out this tutorial next.